Hello? Of course, we all know of the most popular game shows like Wheel of Fortune or Welcome to Jeopardy. I don't know the intro to that. What some may not know is that Nickelodeon had its fair share of game shows. A couple of them were before my time, but the one that really sticks out from my Nickelodeon viewing career was BrainSurge. That was kind of how the lady would say it. It was on from 2009 to 2011. A short-lived show, but man, did it leave its legacy. Like, once it gets to like vintage era, like in 2030, this is going to go down as one of the best game shows. It was hosted by Jeff Sutphin. I'm guessing that's how you say it.
Here's your host, Jeff Sutphin!
Because the lady that was the background, the voice in the void, you couldn't really understand anything she would say, and it wasn't her fault. But they had the volume of the crowd screaming children, and some of them were small children. In some episodes, when they pan over to that crowd, those children are tiny. Like, they don't know what's going on. But you could not hear her because they had the volume of the crowd, and like her voice was way too low. They should have been like a little bit, but that's okay. And watching these episodes back, I was like, hey, he's kind of cute. So, and he was like 28 or something, like 30. And now I'm like, wait, why? He was like so charismatic, but like a little bit nerdy, and he was like so sweet to the kids. There were some moments where you're like, oh, so sweet to the kids, even though he's on TV. He's on TV, people. This is what happens with celebrity crushes. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're so nice, but they're literally like 12 cameras in front of them. This was an amazing show, but at the same time, with all the best game shows, you have those contestants that just make you want to grab the TV. So you know how people talk about like couch coaches, like how grown men will lay on their couch that have never played a down of football in their life, and they'll be like, I wouldn't have done that, or like, I would have done that better, or they'll start screaming at the TV. This was me as a 11-ish-year-old child, especially level 3, which we will get to, and I would be like, I could 100% do that. So what this show was basically they had 5 brainiacs, as they called them, and they would compete against each other in 3 levels of puzzles, like memorization, comprehension. It was literally like a test in school, but it was like they would make it more fun, but it was really learning. Like, if you watch this, it would be like working your brain, aka BrainSurge. Each level you could win prizes, and so even if you got out in the first level, you would still win something. So, but they would say you could win thousands of dollars in prizes. But when you see some of the prizes, you'd be like, thousands of dollars? Probably at the time it was thousands of dollars. So in the first level, 2 kids would get out. The second level, the rest of them would get out, and there'd be 1 person left standing. And if that person won, they would win like the big prizes. It would be like multiple prizes. And the best part of all, you would get slimed with real Nickelodeon TM slime. Like, they knew what the kids wanted. And what I liked about this show, they weren't like speaking down to you as kids. They were literally like, we are making this for you, and you're all smarter than people give you credit for. Like, you guys are kids, but we're gonna give you some tough questions sometimes. Every few episodes we're gonna give you some tough questions. But even watching it now, I still feel like the superior when I get a question right, and like other people don't. I'm like, okay, Brittany girl, like, get it together. Like, come on, let's pay attention on the next question. Let's start with level 1.
Level 1.
So level 1 is basically just a bunch of questions that are puzzles, and they're using your concentration skills. It's one of those where like, find where this is and the stuff moving around. Those actually were the hardest ones to me. I was like, oh, do I need my eyes checked? Like, can my eyes not move that fast? I watched season 2 episode 1 and then season 2 episode 2 because I was like, I just want to see. Those were on YouTube for free. I don't know. And the first episode, I was like, oh, this is easy. Like, this is easy. Like, all the kids were getting all the questions right, even though I'm a 26-year-old woman, and I would hope that these questions would be easy for me. The episode 2 that I watched, I was like, okay, this is easy. Like, I was getting a little too confident. The questions were hard. The kids were getting them all wrong. Like, there were questions that none of them would get them right. And like, that's an issue. The set looked so cool though. It still looks really cool. Like, they would have them all standing at these little tablets, like these just so 2009/2010 tablets. This is such game show vibes. This is such game show vibes. The screen would be behind them with my man Jeff. I was looking at it and I was like, why does this screen look familiar? It literally looks like those spray foam mirrors that the girlies in 2020 were making on TikTok. Jeff was first. Jeff did it first. They would go through all the questions and then they would eliminate 2 people. So if you got eliminated in the first level, you would still win something and you'd get to go down the brain drain. The brain drain looks so fun, and I was like, what is the brain drain? When I was watching this, I was like, okay, it's foam and it's just like a slide and it's like coming out of their ear. On the official BrainSurge wiki page, it describes the brain drain as foamy earwax slime. The losers got good prizes. The losers won medieval times tickets in this episode. Like, they win different things each episode, and I'm sure they repeat some. And they would win a bucket of slime. And in the other episode, the losers, I'm calling them the losers, like losers. They won a plug and play karaoke system. And it's showing the signs of the times. It's the signs of the times. The brain drain just looks so fun though, because if I won the show and like I got through and I got slimed, I'd be like, can I like go down the brain drain? Like, maybe after like everyone's left. Level 2. Level 2. I love the show that all the levels are so different. Like, literally their brains, big brain energy at the BrainSurge headquarters. Level 2 was basically a comprehension test. That was literally it, but they just made it way more fun. Jeff reads off the story and they have to listen to it, and then he asks them questions about the story after. They don't get too many questions in usually. Like, the kids will miss questions pretty early, and so he doesn't have to ask too many, but I'm like, what if they're all getting them right and just keep going and going and going? I would say that this level 2 is kind of easier than level 1 in my humble opinion. Okay, but before they get into that, the kids that make it to this level, they get to like give a fun fact about themselves. To me, when I see this on a game show, because they do it on Wheel of Fortune, they do it on Jeopardy, and I always find it so incredibly uncomfortable because the host has to act like they're interested, and like after they give the fun fact, they're like, okay, and then they like move on to the next thing, or they like say something. I don't know. Especially like on Wheel of Fortune, like Pat Sajak, he doesn't care. He's like, okay, I've been here for 800 years. I don't care about your fun fact. But anyway, the fun facts on here, I just know some of these kids are gonna regret the fun facts that they said. But this one kid, his fun fact was that he swallowed his tooth.
Let's get to know you guys a little better. Reese, you actually ate your own tooth.
Which, you know, whatever. And then he goes on to tell Jeff, sir, that his mom had to dig it out of his excrement.
Yeah, I swallowed it while I was sleeping, and I wanted to get 10 cents from the tooth fairy, and, well,
yeah,
I made my mom dig it out of my poop.
Out of your poop. Okay, can we say poop on TV? We can. Okay.
Now, I know mothers have so much love for their children that they're willing to do that for the tooth fairy himself to be able to come and then leave some money under their pillow. But I feel like the tooth fairy would understand if you swallowed it. Leave him a little note. And your mother does not have to go through that. So that's not a fun fact. He said fun fact. So they're doing this like comprehension test, and every time they answer a question, they sit down on this hand chair, and it either goes or it goes ding if you get it right. It's kind of scary. It's like Saw Trap-esque elimination. It really is. There were literally handles on the chair so they could grab onto it so they didn't like fall off. And they go into the mouth. Apparently the face, that huge face, is supposed to be Jeff's face, and I was like, this does not look like Jeff's beautiful face. This is not his face. He should not claim that energy. So once there were 2 left at this level, they would have a knockout round.
Knockout round.
And when you think knockout round, you're like, oh, they're gonna strap some gloves on these kids. Whoever gets knocked out first gets out. No, actually it's just a little matching game.
And 6. That's a match, my friend.
But like, there was a lot happening in some of the pictures that they were doing the matching on, and it was actually kind of hard. The pictures would be similar, or there would just be so much happening in the pictures that you were just like, it was hard to focus on something. Maybe that's my issue that I need to work out in my life. So the loser would get sent back in the trap, into the unknown, really. Won good prizes too. Like in one episode, they won Dance Dance Revolution Twin Pro Pack. And then in another episode, Southern California City Passes, Disneyland, San Diego Zoo, Universal, and SeaWorld tickets. Now tell me that that is equal worth. Like, I don't know how much a Southern California City Pass was in 2009, but I'm assuming it was a little more than a Dance Dance Revolution Twin Pro Pack. But I would have happily taken either. But if I was like one of the kids and I won like a Dance Dance Revolution, and then I saw that the kids at the other episode got to go to Disney World or Disneyland. Level 3.
Level 3, the final stage.
We need to just take a moment to breathe, because we're getting into level 3. And this level, it is the most frustrating thing you ever did see. So at level 3, there were 3 levels, and it was this floor, and it had these squares on it. The first level was 4x4, then it would grow, it'd be 5x5, and then the last level would be 6x6. They had, was it 90 seconds to follow the pattern, and they would tell you up front for this level, like what you could win. And I feel like that probably added a little bit of pressure to these kids. So some of the things they could win: a Rock Band 2 guitar and the Lego Rock Band game, and 2 Altec Lansing speakers, a Fuji digital camera, a San Francisco Getaway Flow TV, which was a portable handheld individual television. That would be amazing in 2009. An electric guitar. And on the episode where they could win an electric guitar, it was like this tiny little like sweet girl. And it was like this huge, I'm assuming it was like a regular size electric guitar. And I was like, when is this girl gonna use this electric guitar? Either she became a prodigy, or she just like put it in her closet and it collected dust for years. But either way, it would still be worth millions on eBay today. A San Francisco Getaway. They seem to love the San Francisco Getaway. Okay, the reasons why this was frustrating, I hope you can already understand how this setup would be frustrating. How this concept would be frustrating for some. So there were also some like issues with this stepping thing. If you didn't step like in the center of each square, it would not sense your step. And way too many times the kids would take steps and they would go on to the next one before it sensed the one before it, and it would count it as incorrect. So they'd have to go back to the beginning watch the pattern, and this would be using up their time. This would be eating time up. They'd have to go back and do it again. And sometimes they'd go back and do it again. It would not sense it. It would not sense it. The host, Jeff, the patience this man had. The patience. And he was always so supportive of these kids, even if he knew they were not going to win the big prize. He was so nice to them too. They would have like 3 seconds left and they would have an entire pattern that they still had to go through, and he'd be like, no, come on, come on, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And the time would just, it was quite literally impossible, but he would still be like, you can do it.
3 seconds on the clock. I need you to be lightning fast. I have faith, my friend. Okay. He's off! Dude, you did a great job.
But there were so many awkward moments with him and the kids too. Like this one girl, he was like, you can do high five. And you could tell that the girl was nervous and like left him hanging.
That's a TV for a high five. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. No slime?
That was the moment where my heart broke. He looks up for the slime and he knows not coming. And my man Jeff sees it and he says, there's no slime, buddy, but you could go down the brain road. The brain road.
How about we go down the brain road?
You're still gonna have to get in the shower after this, like immediately. Either way. I'm sure that haunts them in their dreams to this day, those kids. Okay, so we know about the regular BrainSurge episodes, but what made this show just that much more special, it brought it up a level, were the Nickelodeon Star episodes.
A special edition of BrainSurge featuring the stars of Nickelodeon! Woo!
Which were many an episode. They were on another level. I love the kid episodes because, like, you know, it's more relatable. But when they would bring those stars out, when you realized that this episode was going to be a Nickelodeon Star episode, could put a little skip the heartbeat skip. They wouldn't just come out with, oh, like this is a guest star for a few episodes. You know, they're not on the top of the call sheet. This show, they were bringing out the big guns for these episodes. We had Ariana Grande, we had Jeanette McCurdy, we had Miranda Cosgrove, we had Victoria Justice, we had members of Big Time Rush. We had them all there. They were there. Nat Wolff was there too. And the thing is that some of the Nickelodeon stars would come back for more and again and more and more and more and more. Like Nathan Kress, the Freddie Benson, he was on the show 5 times. But there's like a compilation video on YouTube that I'll try to remember to link below of every time Nathan Kress was on BrainSurge. The most niche video you've ever seen in your entire life. Of course, they weren't gonna get the prizes because they were all making the dough, so they would have a random audience member that they would be trying to win for. Some of them would be taking it pretty serious. Like Nat Wolff, he was taking this serious. This was like his Super Bowl. This episode of BrainSurge in like season 3 or whatever was his Super Bowl. This moment, I've rewatched it so many times because I'm like, what is going through his head? Is he actually taking it seriously, or does he think he's acting in this moment? I can't tell. I really can't tell.
All right, Nat, how'd you think you did on this one?
I don't know, Jeff. I think I might be going down the brain drain.
The winner of that episode was, of course, Jerry Trainer, because he was a legitimate 32-year-old man playing against teenagers. And just something about that episode, I was like, you know how recently there's been a resurgence of like Jerry Trainer stands? Jeff and Jerry. I was watching these cuties all this time and I didn't realize it. Anyway. So when they would intro them at the beginning of the episodes, they would do a little dance. And it seemed like the stars would go to the next level with these dances. James Maslow and his amazing epically viral dance moves. I don't think we can end this without me doing my own version of BrainSurge. Level 1. This is the most chill game show you've ever seen in your life. So I found this app that I think would be the closest to like a puzzle. It's called Brain Test. I did a few questions to like try it out, and there are some trick questions in here which annoy me. Are you ready to test your brain? Which is the biggest? That would be elephant. Oh, they mean literally. Say, I did this like yesterday. How to blossom this flower. See, some of them are just like, move the clouds, girl. Put the elephant into the fridge. No notifications. Okay. Okay, this one was what got me, because I'm in my like telescope, like moon era of life at this point. I was like, I know this for a fact, like the clouds. Me saying that, the only reason I know the clouds are the closest is because I have used a telescope. I picked the clouds, and I'm not going to do that this time because they're not going to trick me. It is which one is closest to the word us. I got so mad. How many pizza slices do we have? See, it's gonna be wrong, like the actual answer is wrong. Oh, you have to move the other ones. 9.
I just found this game that completely takes my mind off of it.
Level 2. Level 2 on BrainSurge. They listen to a story and they have to comprehend it, and then they have to answer questions. And I was like, what book do I know the most about? Or do I think I know the most about? Or is my favorite book ever that I can take a quiz on? And it was no shock to any of us that I thought Pride and Prejudice. But there are a lot of details and it's different than the movie. But anyway, I found this quiz on YouTube, Pride and Prejudice Quiz 1. And I read Pride and Prejudice. It was probably like 2 years ago. So, could be exposed as a fraud. But here we go. She's also British.
Pride and Prejudice quiz. Test your Jane Austen knowledge against your friends. Let's begin. Question 1. What is the full name of the novel's protagonist?
Elizabeth Bennet.
Answer: Elizabeth Bennet. Question 2. In which century does the story of Pride and Prejudice take place?
The 19th century. It's early 19th, late 18th.
Answer: early 19th century. Question 3. What is the name of the estate owned by Mr. Darcy's family?
Pemberley. It is Pemberley.
Question 4.
I can barely hear what she's saying over this loud music. I can't remember any of the names. I'm gonna freak out.
Answer:
Lydia.
Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification
I was having sensory
button to be
overload.
alerted.
Okay, well I did not win this, so. Level 3. This is iMatch, and it's basically exactly the same as level 3 on the BrainSurge. I already had this here. It's so loud. It's so loud. Wait. There's no volume control. What time is it? Is this just so obnoxious? Okay, we'll just do a few levels. I think I'll be pretty good at this. Here we go. Oops, sorry. Oh. like I won. I feel like I really won. Thanks for watching the BrainSurge. I don't know, Jeff. I think I'm going down the brain drain.